Welcome to Local Matters. Have you been using this time of society and transition to reevaluate your life's work and potentially start seeking new opportunities? With pandemic-age job searches come pandemic-age job interviews, and the Kingston Public Library is pleased to welcome career consultant Gary Gecko to help you prepare. Connecting with a potential employer and highlighting your skills can be challenging when you have to do it virtually, and also raises other questions like, what if you have a horrible internet connection? There will be plenty of time to ask questions like these and more standard ones at this February 8th virtual event beginning at 6 p.m. Visit the library's website to sign up. After being considered an illegal substance for decades, the legalization of marijuana in Massachusetts has led to a destigmatization and cultural shift as more people consider it an option for pain management, sleep, and emotional support. It then follows that one of the fastest growing businesses in our state are marijuana dispensaries. Julie invited Kevin O'Reilly, Chief Operating Officer of locally owned M Dispensary, to talk about the realities and future of the marijuana industry. Julie?
We welcome our guest today, Kevin O'Reilly, who's the Chief Operating Officer of M, which is a marijuana dispensary here in Plymouth. Kevin, you're currently the Chief Officer of M, but you've been a long professional in the community. You have a big history of a lot of different jobs here. So can you tell the audience a little bit about that?
Sure. I became involved in the industry in 2013 after the passage of the medical marijuana ballot question in 2012, when I was approached by a group of local doctors who were interested in getting involved in the industry because they had seen the benefits medical marijuana could provide to patients. And what they asked me to do is work with them to try to find a location in Plymouth that would be ideal for not only a dispensary, but for a cultivation and processing facility. And as someone who grew up here and who raised my family here, and as you mentioned, I've been a town meeting member. I worked up at the State House. I was the chairman of the Chamber of Commerce prior to becoming the executive director of the Chamber of Commerce. And I thought I could use that experience to help educate the community on the benefits of medical marijuana and try to change some of the preconceived notions that people had. All of us who grew up in the 70s and 80s remember the Just Say No war on drugs. So we had some work in front of us to try to convince people that this was going to be a safe industry to come into the community. So working with the doctors, I was able to locate a facility right around the corner from you folks that had been vacant for quite a few years to house our cultivation and our dispensing operations. And so, having knowledge of the community and having grown up here, I thought provided some benefit to help the doctors navigate the very stringent and confusing local permitting process that we have in Plymouth.
And in the beginning,
so as I got involved, the more I learned. Oh, go ahead.
So in the beginning, it was medical marijuana only that you were allowed to distribute, correct?
Correct.
And you
medical marijuana only.
When you say you cultivate, you grow all your own marijuana there in the facility, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. We not only do we grow it here, but we also make our own edibles as well.
Okay, so you're a one-stop shop for everything. Now, in 2018, the sale of cannabis was made legal for medical. When it became legal for otherwise, how did that change your business model for recreational use?
Well, so we had to pivot because when we all first got involved in this, we didn't anticipate that adult use recreational would become available for at least 4 or 5 more years. But events took over. There was a ballot question that passed in 2016. But we had to adjust the way we looked at the business to make sure that we weren't left behind now that recreational had been approved. So we had to go through another permitting process, both with the town in terms of making sure proper zoning was passed, and also with the state to get permitted for the adult use recreation. So you may recall town meeting votes to create the zoning that would allow up to 3 recreational dispensary facilities in Plymouth. So again, going through the town meeting process, going to all the precinct caucuses, working with the planning department, the board of selectmen, the chief of police, all the public safety officials, was a whole new process that we had to go through for recreational in Plymouth.
Okay, and then you got it. Now, according to the studies conducted by the American Psychological Association, cannabis itself is very effective in reducing anxiety, sleep issues, and helping with the symptoms associated with PTSD. Do you think that more people have turned to cannabis because of these conditions?
I do, and we see this all of the time with our patients and our recreational customers now who come in here. Over the years, other than the just say no, because of the regulations, there had not been a whole lot of research that was allowed by the federal government or the states. So many of our patients are self-educated, and a lot of the information that they were able to obtain was anecdotal. Now that things are changing, now that there are more dispensaries open, we see a much more educated consumer coming in.
Right.
Our average patient is 41 years old here.
Okay.
And they come in for a myriad of different conditions, whether it's anxiety or insomnia or pain. There are a lot of different reasons why people choose to use cannabis now.
Right. And now based on that, and I hear what you're saying, and it's very prevalent in our society today, all those things. Do you think that, like alcohol distribution, that you're kind of, you're insulated from your business model going down because of whatever happens in society? People are always going to need that support.
Yeah, we saw a bit of a drop off due to the COVID regulations where we were shut down for 3 months. But since that has been lifted, we see a lot of people who are coming in, especially those who want to get off of using prescription drugs that are, as we know, are very addictive. And whether it's on the medical side, where you have a larger variety of items to choose from, or the recreational side, we see people now who are trying to come in, and our sales have been fairly steady over the last year since we opened for recreational.
Okay. Now, last week we had someone who owned a brewery on as a guest, and they have a lot of cooperation between breweries. They talk to each other often. They share heartache. They share their stories. Do you have the same relationship with other marijuana dispensaries?
Yes, maybe not to the extent that the breweries have, because we are still a relatively new industry in the Commonwealth. But we work together a lot, especially on navigating this highly regulated industry, and also working to fight the black market, which is very prevalent in not only the Commonwealth, but in this community, by letting people know that we have a highly regulated product that has to go strict independent testing, and assuring people that they're getting a product that they can trust. So it's been working together with the other dispensaries throughout the state has been an ongoing process, because there's always something new that's coming along with this new industry. But I'd say there's a lot of camaraderie, and also just to, again, pitch the local, it's important for us also to be involved locally, whether it's with the Chamber of Commerce or Destination Plymouth, or making sure that whenever we have a purchase, we're using local businesses whenever possible.
Wonderful. That's great. And just to wrap it up, do you have a prediction for the future of the cannabis industry overall?
I do. I think that as more dispensaries come online, there'll be more acceptance for the industry across the Commonwealth and across the nation. So I'm optimistic as to the growth, but we're also keeping a wary eye on Washington with some of the regulations that may or may not be coming down the pike. One of the concerns that we have, is that they loosen up some of the banking regulations, so it's easier to do business in the Commonwealth. And the other concern that we're watching is making sure as the regulations are loosened up, that we don't see an influx of multi-state operators that are going to put the squeeze on small local businesses like Triple M. But overall, I'd say we are very, very optimistic for the future of the industry here as it becomes more accepted.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you for all this information today. It's very, very helpful. So Triple M, you're located in Plymouth, and we thank you for your time.
Thanks so much, Julie. Good talking to you.
You too. Back to you, Elizabeth.
Thank you, Julie and Kevin. To learn more about Triple M, visit their website. One of the most popular birds in folklore and literature, owls are beautiful, enigmatic, and exciting birds to learn about. Since the diversity in owl species increases during the winter months in Massachusetts, now is the perfect time to sign up for Mass Audubon Education's February 10th program, Marsh Owls Online. Instructors Scott Santino and Sean Riley will focus on 3 species: the snowy owl, the short-eared owl, and the long-eared owl. Sign up for the 7 to 8:30 p.m. program to learn about the nocturnal habits, predatory adaptations, and what's being done to support the conservation of these amazing birds. Visit the Mass Audubon South Shore Facebook page to sign up. This lecture is one of the online offerings in this year's Merrimack River Eagle Festival. For more information about the Eagle Festival and a full list of participating programs, please go to www.massaudubon.org/Eagle Festival 2021. Every 2 seconds, someone in the United States needs blood. Blood donors help patients of all ages, accident and burn victims, heart surgery and organ transplant patients, and those battling cancer. The Kingston Collection has teamed up with the American Red Cross to host a blood drive on February 8th from 2 to 7 p.m., located on the map in A122, near Mazaply Toys. They've made it easy and convenient to reserve your time slot to donate. Visit redcrossblood.org or call 1-800-RED-CROSS. You can streamline your donation experience and save up to 15 minutes by visiting redcrossblood.org/rapidpass to complete your pre-donation reading and health history questions ahead of time. Supporting the blood supply is a community-wide responsibility. Holistic nutrition consultant Jen Matney is back with an all-new Food Positive.
Hello and welcome back to Food Positive, where we explore all different nutrition topics so that we can take a preventative look at our health and use food as medicine. Now, this is the very first Food Positive episode of 2021. Welcome everyone. Happy New Year to all of you out there watching. Every year at this time you start to hear things like New Year, New You. And many individuals will actually take advantage of the change to a new year by focusing on health-related New Year's resolutions. But if you have chosen a health or diet-related New Year's resolution and it's not going really well, maybe it's fallen by the wayside, don't worry, you're not alone. Research actually shows that about 50% of adults in the United States will make New Year's resolutions. However, less than 10% of those individuals will actually continue on with that resolution in the long term. So you're not alone, you're actually in the majority. A big reason why New Year's resolutions aren't actually successful in the long term is something called limiting beliefs. So today we're going to be exploring everything we need to know about limiting beliefs. What exactly are they? Some different types that might be manifesting in your life. And we'll also explore how to overcome those limiting beliefs to start prioritizing our health goals and move forward. So you might be asking yourself, what exactly is a limiting belief? Now, in life, how we perceive the world actually shapes many of our behaviors. So limiting beliefs are those false beliefs we have about ourselves, the world, and life in general that actually keep us from taking a certain action. For example, I don't believe that I would be so good at singing in public, which prevents me from going down to the street corner and busking. Now, this limiting belief may actually be serving me quite well. It lessens my anxiety and it prevents me from experiencing any embarrassment in public. So that limiting belief is not negative, and not all limiting beliefs are negative per se. But what limiting beliefs do is it puts a limit on what we perceive to be reasonable behavior. In essence, it limits what we are capable of doing or achieving. It can hold us back from who we want to become or what we want to achieve. So limiting beliefs are those false beliefs about ourselves, about the world, and about life in general that prevents us from taking certain actions. Okay, so we've talked about what exactly is a limiting belief. Now let's explore the different types of limiting beliefs and how they might be manifesting in your life. So researchers agree that there's actually a few categories of limiting beliefs. We may be feeling limiting beliefs about ourselves, the world, or life in general, just like we mentioned just a few moments ago. So those limiting beliefs that we have about ourselves, those can actually manifest in not feeling like we can do something because of something innately wrong with who we are as people. So, for example, I'm not able to drink enough water for optimal hydration because I'm just too lazy, right? That's all there is to it. Then we have those limiting beliefs about the world. So those can manifest in us feeling that we're not able to achieve something because someone won't let us do that thing. For example, I want to eat paleo, but I can't because my family disapproves of that way of eating. So that might be a limiting belief we have about the world. Then we have those surrounding life in general. And limiting beliefs about life in general usually manifest in terms of it just being too difficult. So, for example, I want to consume green smoothies every morning, but there just isn't enough time. Or, being a healthy, strong person isn't really for normal people who don't have trainers or private chefs. So why make all these changes and do all this work for nothing? So that might be a limiting belief about life in general. It's just too difficult. So we have those about ourselves, about the world, about life in general, and those limiting beliefs can keep us from taking action and moving in a positive way, moving forward towards our health goals. Okay, so we've learned what a limiting belief is. We've also talked about the different types and how it might be manifesting in your life. So now let's explore what we can do to overcome those limiting beliefs and start moving forward. So as we've been exploring limiting beliefs, you might have thought to yourself, some of these thoughts, these limiting beliefs are actually resonating with how I have felt in the past when I've started a health goal. For example, you might have thought to yourself, I'm just too disorganized or too lazy to start this health goal. Or you might have thought, I am starting this health goal, but upon receiving some judgment from your family or friends, you dropped it like that. Or you may even have successfully completed a whole month or a couple months or a year of moving forward on your health goals, only to start feeling like there's no longer any time, or it's just too difficult to maintain these health goals or to improve on them, right? So the first thing we want to do in combating or overcoming those limiting beliefs is we want to question it. Ask yourself, what is the point of this limiting belief? Is it even correct? We want to be able to challenge ourselves to imagine a world where that limiting belief is actually entirely false. And challenging that limiting belief will help open us to possible realities where it is false and there are alternate options for us, okay? Then step 2, we're actually going to question it a little bit more specifically, okay? So we're gonna ask ourselves, is this limiting belief serving me? So limiting beliefs usually have the purpose of preventing us from experiencing any struggle or any failure in life, because those moments can be kind of hard to swallow, right? So having a limiting belief, the purpose is to keep us from struggling or ever experiencing any failure. You have to ask yourself, is my limiting belief serving me? Is it worth it or is it not? So that's step 2. Okay, so now we've done step 1 and step 2. Let's focus on step 3. And step 3, get those creative juices flowing and start thinking of alternate beliefs. So maybe you're not disorganized, you're not plain lazy, but you haven't taken the time to create an easy to reach goal and the steps you will utilize to get to that goal. Maybe you lament all the time that you don't have the time to focus on your health and to prioritize your health, but maybe it's because you haven't actually set aside any block of time to do that. So creating these alternate beliefs will help you to identify alternate realities where those limiting beliefs aren't in fact true. And once we've done step 3, we've created those alternate realities, we want to do step 4, which is to take those alternate beliefs for a little test drive. So, like I said before, if you aren't disorganized, you aren't lazy, let's take that alternate belief for a test drive and create an easy to reach goal and how you will successfully achieve that goal over time. If you haven't spent time on your health goals and there's just not enough time in the day, take that alternate reality, that alternate belief for a test drive and set aside a block of time for practicing new recipes or exercising or drinking enough water. So once we take those alternate beliefs for a test drive, we'll notice a couple of things. One, we're gonna notice all of our successes. So we might feel better in our bodies, we might be sleeping better, our skin might clear up, or we might just be experiencing all the endorphins and the vitamins and minerals in the mood boosts from making and achieving those health goals. And then the second thing you will notice is that those limiting beliefs weren't actually true all along. So step 4 is taking those alternate beliefs for a little test drive and experiencing all of the wonderful emotions when you realize that those limiting beliefs weren't serving you and they were in fact false. So that's step 1, 2, 3, 4 is question your limiting beliefs, then question whether that limiting belief is actually serving you or not. Is it worth it? Then we want to get creative and come up with alternate beliefs that might in fact be true, and we want to take those alternate beliefs for a little test drive and see how they fit. So thank you so much for being here for our exploration of limiting beliefs, what they are, what the different types of limiting beliefs can be, and how they can manifest in your life, as well as a couple of tips and tricks for overcoming limiting beliefs and moving forward in our health goals. Thank you so much for being here. That's all for today on Food Positive. If you have any questions, please feel free to send them to the local scene at PAC TV if they are nutrition or health related. We really would love to tackle those topics that mean the most to you. Thank you so much and have a great day.
Thanks, Jen. To check out more of Jen's advice, visit eatpositivebepositive.com. Old Field Estates is a new affordable housing development located in Lakeville, Mass, and is having an ownership lottery. There are 4 affordable duplex units located off of Rhode Island Road, and the maximum income for a household of 6 is $88,350 a year, descending down to an income limit of $68,550 for a household of 3. Applications can be obtained through the Middleborough Housing Authority website at middleboroughha.org under links/applications, or contact the Housing Authority by email or phone. These 3-bedroom, 2.5-bath townhouses will make beautiful homes for deserving families. The developer and lottery agent do not discriminate and encourage applicants with diverse backgrounds to apply. Erica is back to tell us what's up in the schools.
High school Fall 2 sports registration is now available for Pembroke High School. To register your child for football, cheerleading, or indoor track, please refer to the school website for registration form and user fee payments. Although some sports may not be able to run this year due to COVID restrictions, please register your child's chosen sport now. You will be notified if your child's sport will not run this year. If you have any questions or difficulty with the online forms, please contact the athletics office at 781-293-3973. To commemorate February as Heart Health Month and support heart health awareness, members of Silver Lake Regional High School's SAD chapter invited all members of the school community to wear red on Tuesday, February 2nd and Friday, February 5th. In the school morning announcements this past week, it also included suggestions on ways to get educated about keeping your heart healthy. Are you a parent of a senior that would like assistance completing the free application for federal student aid, or a parent just curious about how it all works? Please check out the upcoming FAFSA Day virtual event on February 11th at 7 p.m. After a brief presentation on the FAFSA, there will be plenty of time for live questions and answers. Register for the event via the school website. Elizabeth, back to you.
Thank you, Erica. The Plymouth Public Library has plans to celebrate Valentine's Day ahead of time with you, if you're interested. Join them via Zoom for an hour of trivia, romantic tunes, and easy-to-make sweet recipes. Use the game board you'll receive via email and hopefully win a prize playing Valentine's trivia at home. Figure out who Cupid is aiming his arrow at and whether dark chocolate and oysters truly are the most romantic menu choice for the 14th. The Heartwarming takes place on February 10th from 7 to 8 p.m. Register on the library's website or contact Outreach Librarian Tom Comiskey with any questions. The Duxbury Senior Center is spreading the love one song at a time with a free and fun Zoom concert on February 12th from 1 to 2 p.m. With Paul Coronella on vocals and guitar, Steve Saronian on keyboards, and Steve Lanzalotta on drums, this Play It Again presentation will be a great way to spend a Friday afternoon. Visit duxburyseniorcenter.org to register. One of the most anticipated events in a medical student's journey is Match Day, when thousands wait every year to find out if and where they've been placed in a postgraduate program, which is a requirement to go on to gain a medical license. Match Day 2020 was extra special for Dr. Jasmine Kudji and Dr. Cynthia Kudji Sylvester. They were one of the first mother-daughter duos to graduate medical school at the same time and to be matched to the same institution, the Louisiana State University School of Medicine. Now, as the COVID-19 pandemic surges all over the nation and the world, mother and daughter find themselves at an unprecedented time in medical history. On Wednesday, February 10th from 7 to 8:30 p.m., Join both doctors for an intimate conversation detailing their experiences on the front lines of the battle against the virus, their journey navigating the medical field and system as women of color, and the power and importance of the bond between mother and daughter. This program is funded by the Women in Science and Engineering Initiative at the Museum of Science Boston and is free, thanks to the generosity of the Lowell Institute. Visit the museum's Facebook page to register. Plimoth Violins in downtown Plymouth offers instruments, lessons, and repairs. In this video, musician Angelica Vendetti plays Rocky Road to Dublin on a violin sent all the way from Chicago, repaired, and sent back to its owners. Enjoy. Thank you, Angelica, and thank you for staying with us for this episode of Local Matters. From all of us at PAC TV, have a happy and safe week. We'll see you next time.